But I'm gonna go ahead and head to the next one. Now, this one right here is where it's gonna get interesting. So the next one, professional black women in our professional black woman space. Now, I'm gonna say this. This can consist of many different fields, but of course, nurses, lawyers, hell, even to a degree, actresses and stuff. Even though I know we got some up here, I'm just saying. Actually, two of the things I said we got up here. Um, and it's been this trend of men starting to say that women working in those fields tend to be difficult to deal with. So the question I'm gonna bring on, I think we lost Amber again. She'll be back, I guess. Um, yes, there she is. The question is, do you guys feel like that this here potentially hinders you in as far as the dating life? I'm gonna start with Amani.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So with they working in certain fields such as like pretty much any professional career like um fields where it is very time consuming and things in that nature. Do you feel like it affects your life as far as like let's say a family oriented lifestyle?
No, I don't.
So what's your
Mm-hmm.
reasoning?
I don't think it affects it because it's the type of person you have to be. I think it's like a case by like a person to person thing. Usually, like for anybody, when you're starting journeys in your life, whether it's career, family, whatever, you got to be prepared to start that. And you have to know yourself enough to know your limits, what you can handle and what you can't handle. And I think that the more people get to know themselves and understand what is their limits, what is their boundaries, what they have to offer to not only themselves, but to other people, then you can kind of curate, oh, I can, have a career and a family, or I could just have a career, or I could just have a family. So I think for me personally, no. Because I know who I am and I know how to handle certain things, I've embarked in certain areas, whether it's still pursuing my career and balance in a family, because I know that I can handle it. But a lot of women probably can't handle that. So I think it's like, however you can handle, like what you can do for your life and how you can navigate your life, that has to determine whether it's difficult or not. And if it is difficult, maybe you need to reevaluate your circumstances and kind of pull back on certain things, whether it's dating, a relationship, you name it. Like, but I think that as a woman, we should be able to do whatever the hell we want to do and make our mistakes and also handle our challenges without being judged. So I don't know if that answered your question.
You did. You good. For Keelan?
Agree with that. I agree with that. I want to put in on that too, like because you said, does it hurt the chances of a woman like trying to find love because it may be intimidating? Is that what you're trying to say too? Like it may be intimidating for a man,
No,
or it may,
no,
huh?
no,
Oh, so
no.
what are you saying?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just gonna go ahead and address that little part. I think there's just a terminology. I don't know who's the first one to come up with that, but that men being intimidated, we're definitely not intimidated. I don't know where they come from. But
Okay. Well,
basically, I'm saying is like it tends to be a little bit more problematic as far as having a family because for one thing, I'll give you an example. A lot of men tend to believe that it makes it harder for a woman to find a man when she's dealing in those fields. I'll say that.
I would say this. Actually, when a woman is in that field, first of all, I really believe that everybody has a soulmate and everyone, you know what I'm saying, have that special person for them. If anything, a woman being at a stature type of career field, not every man can talk to her. I think it weeds out the people that can handle her in that limelight versus hurting her chance, because at the end of the day, everybody's not made for you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not made for you, and everybody's not made for what all that you come with. And so if anything, um and that's on a man perspective. Like, y'all think that it's problematic for us because it may be too masculine and we're trying to take on all the providing and all of that. But to be honest, it weeds out the weaklings. Like, if you really think that me having a career is going to be problematic for you, then you're not the person for me. Matter of fact, most men, I've seen this in my own experience. Most men that said that to me and thought about that, they had nothing going for themselves. And so they wanted to dumb down me so they can feel like they are in control or something. But as far as being problematic on dating, I don't think it's problematic on dating. I think it weeds out who's for you and who's not for you.
Okay. And then Taj is missing in action now, so it look like I'm getting gained, but it's all good. Come on, Solo, let's go.
So to address the first part of your question, I agree that. Well, I guess my I agree that a lot of women going to get advanced degrees, or they're working full-time jobs, or they just want to wait to have kids. Does affect the black community. If we're talking about us specifically, it affects our ability to have children or maintain our families. Have more and more black families. I agree with that, especially if these women are waiting to have children. But I think that that sort of is a trauma response to what they've seen their mothers do, since majority of us are raised by single mothers. So we see our mothers do it all alone. We say to ourselves, that's not the life where I want to live. I want to get myself together where I can live comfortably, and then I'll make the determination whether or not I want to have a child. Now I can put whatever standards I want to implement, because I don't really need, I don't really, I don't have children, so I only have to provide for myself. See, I think that that is sort of a trauma response, or maybe you've seen other people, not your mom, but maybe your sister, your auntie, do it by themselves. You see, they incur struggles. It's expensive, especially now at this where we at in this economy, whatever, right? But I also think that when women decide to go get advanced degrees, they are a lot of times experienced a lot in the world, and they have sort of created a mind of where they want their lives to be and how they want to be treated in relationships, and they just have experienced the world and maybe have more standards than our 18-year-old moms who were married at 20 and had their first child or whatever. So I think that it requires, as a response to that, it requires men to be sort of extraordinary in a sense, to be partners with these women. I get that part, but also they, if a woman has never had sort of a positive male influence in their life, or maybe a positive male role model, I mean, they are gonna require sort of more from a man if he's not willing to change things that she doesn't like. So I mean, yes, it affects our ability to have families in the black community, because these women are advancing their careers. But if they choose to put these standards up now that they have experienced the world, made the money, got the job, they've done all of that, then it requires the man to step up. And either you step up or you don't. And what is she supposed to do? Settle?
Okay. So I'm actually kind of proud of you because I agree with most of the stuff you said, and I can't believe it. Because I
What
was
was your
literally,
question?
when you started, I was like, let me get ready to go ahead. and deal with this bullshit. And you actually said something. I was like, damn, I actually agree with a lot of it. So
That's funny.
I'm gonna say this. It when it comes to those type of things, because I think the women are looking at it only one way. At least majority of them do. Because I'm not saying women shouldn't have a career. I'm not saying that. But I do think if you have a career, you need to be prepared for what comes with it. And what comes with it typically is that you're way more likely to want a man. Let's say you are successful at your career. Let's say you're making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, something in that nature, right? You have already trumped more than 95% of the men in the country. So you have already made it that the odds of you finding the man you're looking for significantly lower. That's the side of it I think the women aren't thinking about. And then let's not forget, majority of you wants them to be handsome. Some of you may want them to be tall. Now you probably dropped it down to about 2%. Then some of them might be gay. Now you're less than 1%. So I think that's what's happening to our women that are in those careers. So and then you say, and then and then you tend to think, oh, it just ain't no good men in the world. Well, what it is that as far as financial standpoint, you're an exceptional woman. So it's not just that these men can't keep up. Most of the men in the world not going to be able to keep up with what your career comes with. So, like I said, if you're going to take your career, you might want to be open to having a man that makes less than you, but majority of the women don't. So that's the problem. And like when you do that, a lot of them tend to end up being lonely. Like, and for some of them, in some cases, some women are okay with having a man that makes less than them. And then on special occasions, they're able to have a man that makes less than them and still respect him normally, like you would do your regular man. Like I'll give you an example. Like Rihanna makes more than A$AP Rocky. But it seems like, obviously we're outside looking in, but it seems like they have a nice, healthy relationship because she still respects him and loves him as her king, even though, she out earns him. And I think that's typically what the problem is when it comes to those type of things. Taj, go ahead. You haven't went yet.
Yeah, from personal experience, the women I know who went from girls to ladies to women, the ones that came up with money, they date for love. The ones who came up in the struggle, they date for stability. And even the ones who came up in the struggle that date for stability, they have to be realistic enough to understand we're in the condition. When I say we black men are in the condition we're in by design. This ain't just us laying around, sitting around, not trying to do nothing. It's a whole system. So black women, y'all can't be a part of the most educated demographic in the nation and not have the intelligence to process that. So if you got everything you want from your career, your job, your business, and the only thing you missing is love, and you letting a career difference come in between that clearly shows that it's a difference between education and intelligence.
It is. Okay, so let me address. I'm gonna let everybody else speak again if you want to, go on and before we move to the next topic. But I want to address the chat a little bit. Let's see. They said I've seen married women do it by themselves too. I don't know what you're referring to with that, but everything she said was 100. I'm guessing she was referring to solo. Some just don't want to live in poverty too. So you don't have to necessarily. That's the thing. I think you don't have to, just because you're having a man, like for instance, I think another big issue in our community, and I'm only speaking for us. Typically, when I'm on this platform, I'm not speaking of any other, demographic of other any other ethnic group outside of us, Black, Caribbean, here in America, or African here in America. But I think this is more so a Black American thing, where we live beyond our means too much. Because this is the thing: if he's making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, you're making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, or even just 40. You know what I'm saying? And you can combine for any of $80 to $100,000 a year. Most people, like in today's time, like, oh, that's not enough. It is though. It's like more than 2 times more than what your fathers and their fathers made, and they made it work. So the issue here, obviously, things are higher. I'm not saying that it's not higher, but one of the main issues is we live beyond our means too much. We buy a bunch of things that we don't need, and a lot of our money goes to that. And now we're saying, oh, it's not enough. But I think also naturally, when it's 2 people that's together, and y'all both got drive, y'all both got ambition, because a good woman is gonna naturally, if a good woman mixed with a good man, it's gonna naturally thrive. You're gonna naturally start elevating, because that's what a good woman is there for. Like if she's a good woman, this nigga have this. If you add that good woman to him, this nigga gonna just start going up. You're gonna eventually get there anyways. And I think that's part of what's going on in our community, because it's way too many of us that lives beyond our means, and we want to just look for the man who already has it. But typically when you look for the man who already has it, you may get, a good man that said they, go ahead and do the right thing with you and stuff like that. But I think the likelihood of it is significantly lower. Anybody else want to follow up?
I mean, to find a soulmate in this world, that's one of the greatest prizes you could find in this experience we call life. If y'all could think of another one that trumped that, let me hear it. But that's one of the greatest feelings. I won't say I've been in love before, but I've had some great relationships with women, and I haven't really met a feeling that trumps when everything is going well. That's a beautiful thing, and it's worth striving for.
Anybody else? Amani, I feel like you want to say something. I feel like it.
No, I'm just agreeing with what he was saying. But
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like everyone's making valid points, and I think that it's not a one-dimensional mindset and a one-dimensional thing. I think it's a case by, like I said, it's just a case-by-case thing. Whoever can make it happen can make it happen, and those that can't, they can't, and that's just okay. Like both can be okay. Both can exist, and I think that we have to give each other room to exist in all of those realms without feeling like there's a particular prototype or standard for your average Black man and Black woman, because we are very complex. And as well, we have to keep in mind that we did start through slavery in this country. So let's not act like we didn't have struggles from generations and beyond generations ago that we're still catching up to and we're still trying to eliminate. So that's why I feel like it just needs to be more compassion within the Black community, and we need to be able to understand, listen, and respect each and everyone's opinion and views on life without having to judge or project their views, when it's something different that they don't necessarily agree with. That's all.
Okay. To address you, Cameron, I'm not doing after hours tonight. I don't do after hours on Sundays because this ends close to the same time. And then also this coming week, I might as well go ahead and announce it. I'll make another announcement in my community. I'll be doing after hours probably an hour, possibly even 2 sooner than I normally do it for this coming week, because I got something coming up that I'm doing at like 1 a.m. So I got to push the, hours up so that I can still do it.
Hey, Jamie, I'm so sorry. I do have to leave. My boyfriend has to coach right now, so I have to go back upstairs to the kids. But I had fun. Had a great time talking to you guys, and you guys all have a great day. And hopefully, I see you guys on the next live.
All right, go ahead. Have a blessed one.
Bye.
Everybody said good. It'd be late as hell. Hey, I'll be happening. Hey, y'all gotta think about the lateness, bro. I'm still, even though I'm in Central Time now, the West Coast. I be still feeling like I'm on the West Coast. West Coast time, it ain't that late. But anyways, though, I'm gonna go ahead and head to the next one. I wonder what happened to Amber. She done vanished. She out there now. We only got one woman now. It's crazy. They was outnumbering us. Now they don't drop. Solo, you actually are solo now.
I see.
Oh boy. But anyways, uh, we're gonna go ahead and start with you though, and I'll just let the chat help you
Hmm.
out in here.
Oh,
Do you feel like, in your opinion, that the men in today's society, more particularly the black ones, I guess you can say men in the general, because I think both cases on the topics is a general men and a general woman issue, but we're just more so dealing with us. But do you feel like the men are a little too um too feminine these days?
that's a tough question because I really like to hold it down for black men. I really like to.
We love
And
you too.
I usually like to back them up. I
But
want to say, this is what I want to say. I want to say that, of course, I do not encounter majority of black men in the world. Let's just say it's 15 million black men. I do not come in contact with them to be able to determine, yes, I went through 15 million of y'all and I determined that majority of y'all, based on my calculations, are more feminine than I would like, right? So I can't make a generalization like that, right? I will say that there appears to be a phenomenon of a lot of feminine men who appears to be all in our face as far as social media wise, and that may give you the perception that a lot of black men are feminine. I do think that a lot of times, a lot men who sit sort of who gossips per se, they tend to be more in our social media presence. If they're bashing black women, they tend to go viral. They seem to get more attention when they sort of are acting a little feminine. And I would say feminine as when I mean that they be sitting around sort of gossiping about other women or bashing over the women, trying to embarrass women. I consider those little acts like that feminine. So that's sort of my description of what you mean when you say sort of feminine. I also think that we can't really fault them, right? Because a lot of them was raised by their mothers. So we still have to go back to the system and not these individual black men. But so I'm going to say that you may have the perception, but I don't think that most black men, I think that they have a lot of different mindsets nowadays as it compares to the traditional sort of family dynamic. I think that's sort of all screwed up. But I don't think that majority of black men are too feminine these days.
oh shit. So hold on. He just said I seen a girl say on Twitter that men can't order a strawberry lemonade.
I
I
mean,
think go ahead, go ahead.
I don't know. I can't say most black men can't order a lemonade, a 12 count in a lemonade, because I have not encountered all of black men and made that determination, right? But I will say that a lot these issues that women have with black men, something like that, like they're not leading in that instance about ordering their food because why you can't do that as an adult. But I think that those issues like that are gets more attention when things like that, and it'll make you assume after you see three different women online talking about how their man won't lead, you would come to the conclusion a lot of these women in relationships with men, their men are not leading them, they're leading the men, right? So I think that a lot of issues, stereotypes about our men get put down our throat through social media, and then we assume that majority of the black men, I could imagine a majority of black men ain't on social media.
Okay, so let me. I got to get some clarity with you. So when you say social media, are we speaking of platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or are we speaking of YouTube, TikTok, and all of that as well? All you put all of that in the same thing?
Yeah, I think that all of these social media websites, you see, if you're like, if it's something bad, if it's something negative about our men, you as a black woman, you definitely, it's definitely coming down your timeline. Or if you see black men doing something that just maybe out, or what you consider to be bashful, because I consider that to be feminine, but that seems to be, go viral. So you would make that conclusion based on what you see on social media, but you haven't encountered most
So
black men
basically,
expressing
what
what the
you're
struggles that
saying
they go through.
is I should start cooking girls on this platform to go viral more.
I mean, that's where the clicks and the views are.
I'm just play. I'm just playing. I don't know. I mean, for me, like I said, my thing is I'm gonna always be honest and hold them accountable. But yeah, I will say certain guys I think do deliberately just attack. Like for instance, Myron, this nigga just attacked particularly black women out of nowhere for no reason, just because.
Yes.
Now I can agree with you on that shit, but also I think when it comes to like you just telling them what it is and stuff like that, that's just you. Because I think certain men are doing it generally to try to help, and certain ones just do it for clicks and views. So it is a difference. But Taj, what do you have to say on it?
No, as a man, just set your boundaries, regardless who the chick is. Sometimes we're attracted to some chicks more than others. But I've learned throughout my experiences, don't compromise your boundaries, whatever those boundaries are. When a female or a lady starts rebelling against that, you got to be disciplined and strong enough to let her ass leave. Let her, hey, if you ain't gonna respect, because at the end of the day, the one thing no female in this world, even outside of our culture, and I'm gonna say lady, not female, because a female could be an animal. One thing a lady or a woman can't get around is that when we step out in the public together, if a threat came at us, the man is expected to step up and put his life on the line, whether he kill or die. And no lady in this world could get around that. So the question becomes, how much is that worth to you? When I say you, I'm talking about the women. How much is that done, or are you just dating men to sacrifice them anyway? You see what I'm saying? So the most black men understand we're at war with one of the strongest oppressors in human history. So a lot of us, when we're done doing battle, whether it's in society, at work, when we get around a chick, we just want to relax and chill. So is that what you call effeminate?
Solo, I'm guessing that's directed to you.
No, I mean, no, of course not. If you want to sit at home and chill, that's not feminine.
After doing battle. Like it ain't no joy. The average. Let me say this real quick for Keela and all everybody else online. When after the George Floyd demise, this really shocked me. We were expecting like all the hoodlums and the thugs and the bangers and all that to hit the streets. It was you had more, I guess what y'all would call feminine dudes out there on the battlefield than the niggas who we thought was gonna be on our front lines. So when we need that masculinity, and I ain't gonna even put the toxic on there, where was it? And we could just rewind time 5 years ago. Some people argue, man, them niggas ain't come out until it was time to loot some of the stores. No, but what about when we needed them on the battlefield, of that uprising that just happened in 2020? So Shit. Yeah, so my view sort of shifted. Like, damn, maybe them niggas don't have our back. The so-called toxic masculinity dudes. So when we really need y'all out there to go up against this oppressor, where y'all at? And you got the dudes who you would call feminine out there in the mix, putting their bodies on the line, because life goes on. So that's my views shifted after that George Floyd era. When I saw that with I mean, even when you looked on the news, we was like, damn, what the hood niggas at? And them niggas
I
wasn't
think it
out there
just
until it was
depends on
time to go
what.
loot some stores.
I think it depends on what area.
The whole
Like I told
country.
you,
It was
nah,
up. It was uprisings across the country, and what they're basically saying is the
because
tough
everybody don't
dudes.
feel like that they had nothing to do with me. Like for instance, me myself, I don't feel like they had shit to do with me. So no, I wasn't going out there. I'll say it.
Okay.
But like I say, if it's something
So,
that I
Jamie,
think,
how did that not have anything to do
Get
with
him
you
for
what happened
Keela.
with
Get him
George
for
Floyd?
Keela.
How can you
Get
I'm
say
a,
him.
that has nothing to do
Get
with
him
you?
for get him for better you than
because
me.
Please
I'm not about to
explain.
go out there and do no damn marching for nobody just because they're saying, oh, let's do it. Because this is the thing, this marching and all this stuff that they're doing, typically it's the same old shit. You're gonna do that shit and then stop.
Okay, so Jamie, what else? Give what else can we do?
So, like I said, what I was getting ready to direct it to is I've seen performances and stuff like that where it was like something such as police brutality. I think for Keela, you probably was in Phoenix during this time. I seen this shit in Memphis with my own eye. This is not me just going by what hearsay. I was there for it. I was I was there when we started the meeting on Facebook. In fact, matter of fact, if I went to my Facebook and dig for it, I probably can show you the messages right now of us gang members talking about what we're gonna do before we did it. And then we did it. On July the 11th, 2016, like I keep saying, I'll never forget the day. All of us, once police brutality was starting to kick it up, all of us said, bro, we don't care if you GD, Blood, Vice Lord, GD, all of us gonna be in one unit for this particular thing, bro. Like no fighting, no shooting. We're not going against each other at all today. And we went. Keila, you been from Memphis, you know what I'm talking about. How in Memphis, the bridge that connects Arkansas, Mississippi, and Memphis. We went there and we went to the bridge and stuff like that. And we basically was like raising hell there and then the police was confused. They're like, what do y'all want? What they were begging us to leave. It was so bad that they had to ask reinforcements from Arkansas and Mississippi to come and try to help them. And it still wouldn't enough because it was like minimum 1,500 of us. Minimum. So what I'm saying is stuff like that. I think the George Floyd situation, obviously it was wrong and it was unfortunate. But like, bro, they only came out there because the shit was pushed by a certain group of people, bro. Like Black Lives Matter, bro. It's not for us. That shit was a group that was built by these same people that are oppressing us to start shit. Particularly, I'll go ahead and call the source out. Democrats stage that shit. They do it. If y'all pay attention, each time an election is coming up, they do this.
Okay, so can I jump in?
Sure.
So you explaining to us why George Floyd has nothing to do with you, right?
I'm explaining why I was saying I stayed in and didn't get involved with it. Because I've been to so many of them and them niggas will do that shit and then stop. That's why I was like, bro, I'm not about to go and risk myself and stuff like that for something that is just going to probably be over in the next day. Like the marching phase of me is done. I've done it too much. This is what,
But that doesn't mean that the George
20,
Floyd shit didn't have nothing to do with you, Jamie. The police brutality has everything to do with every black man that walk around in this country. That is a problem that we're gonna have to address.
All right, then let's go ahead and let's do it. Because like
Yeah,
I told you,
for Keela, I tell Jamie often in our prep calls, I say, man, I like the way Keela think. The feeling don't have to be mutual. But no, I've done 2, 3, 4 shows with you, and I really appreciate the way you think and speak. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's something that we gonna have to fight to the end. Otherwise, they gonna continue to kill us out here in the streets.
See, that's the
And,
thing.
yeah.
I'm not saying we ain't got to fight it. What I am saying is I am not for the damn going up and marching and hands up, don't shoot, that bullshit. I'm not with that. That's what I am saying.
What's the alternative, Jamie? We
Right.
need all thoughts on it.
If you really gonna be about it, be about it. If you were saying,
What do they mean?
I'm for
if
real.
you were going out there,
like, what the hell that means?
if y'all allow me to fucking speak, you'll see.
No, but just straight talk, bro. We serious. We dying out here, and you talking about, oh yeah, man.
You're right, but that shit doesn't do anything.
Alternative?
It's just talking,
Yeah, we
bro.
don't
That's
need
the same thing we
riddles.
were doing
We don't
50
need
years
riddles,
ago.
Jamie.
We were doing
No,
that
but
15 years ago.
No, that George Floyd shit was different. That shit hit different, bro. And everybody was out there except the niggas who we expected to come and kind of have, our community back. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but no, get back. I don't want you to get off your thought. What's the alternative?
Like I was getting ready to say, if it was different and these folks say, hey, we don't have enough, bro. Fuck it. We just gonna come with the smoke. I'll be with that. At least you actually dying for something.
What does smoke
or
mean?
getting arrested for something.
Oh my
Not
God.
just this marching and going out and just yelling.
So when you say smoke, again, we need straight words, bro. So when you say smoke, you mean like some
Nick,
violence?
I'm talking about real, like, for instance, we're like, bro, we're done talking. We just gonna go in and start. Come on, this is YouTube. I can't say certain stuff.
So you went far enough. Good luck with that shit, bro. Good luck with you and all the niggas who crazy enough to go out there with that mentality, homie. You in the most powerful country in the world, and you think that they want us to do shit like that.
So what is marching gonna do? That's what I'm saying. What is marching gonna do?
What George Floyd told us is that, because it was more than just us out there, and that's the first time in American history you ever seen a police station get burnt down. Now, it's a reason for that. And part of that reason is that more than just our community was out there. And it was almost like the other communities that came to join us. They're like, yo, let us show y'all really how to do this shit. And them motherfuckers burnt that Minneapolis police station down. We can't claim credit for that. The black community can't claim credit for that one. Now,
and what I'm telling you, I'm not saying none of this didn't happen, but this is what I am telling you, is that they push that same agenda each and every election. That's what I'm trying to say. I can go down the line, starting with the one that just happened. There are events similar to that happen every damn 4 years.
We're familiar with that, Jamie, but you talking about going out there with smoke. And it's like,
I'm saying, if you're gonna do something about it, do the whole thing. Right?
Jamie, we tried that too.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If the people that you love, the ones that's in the southern areas, that you know who I'm talking about, them people, was getting that done to them, what you think they would do?
They gonna do what they historically did. They gonna do what they did on January 6th.
That's what I'm saying.
One thing about them people, and they got the whole country in fear. I ain't gonna say their ancestors, they great grandparents. They're the only ethnic culture in this country that ever tried, I gotta choose my words carefully, to overthrow this country in the Civil War. And the people who you saw on January 6th are their great-grand descendants, really their great-grandchildren.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Fakila. So they're showing, and y'all from the South. I'm from the South too, South Florida. That ain't deep South like Memphis, Georgia, and all that. But what do white folks in the South say? The South will rise again, and that's what they showed the whole world on January 6th. Nigga, we'll take this shit over. Keep playing with us if y'all want to. Now, I'm talking
so what I'm saying is, why can't we do the same?
Because we would get mowed down, and we know that, Jamie. Come on, bro, you tripping.
Nah, I think it's just fair, bro.
If we try to do that shit,
I think it's fair.
I think it's fair. If we try to do that shit that happened on January 6th, boy, it'd be a bloodbath, bro. And you know
I think it's fair, bro. I really do.
Okay, it ain't. You sure? People get fear and wisdom mixed up sometimes.
Because the group
How
that
you
you're
know it
talking
ain't?
about is not that big either.
No, but listen, the rednecks have. Let's just call the name out. I don't think that ain't no racial slur. The rednecks got the whole white America in check, bro. Why do you think that dude? Why do you think that dude who just shot Charlie Kirk shot him from a distance? Let's talk about it. That dude. So the radical liberals, they don't have the toughness to take on the Southern whites face to face, chest to chest. So they sniping their ass, and I'm saying that respectfully. So the radical liberal who now they could be classified as feminine men too, but you see what the hell that dude did, and guess what that dude said when they took his ass to the station? Some hate cannot be negotiated with. So he done already told him, yeah, I did it, and here's my manifesto for it. Some hate, and I'm paraphrasing, so I could be off a little bit. Some hate cannot be negotiated with. This is what he said about Charlie Kirk. So what I'm trying to say, Jamie, is even when you go back to the Civil War, the northern whites, I'll say this in front of the whole country, bro. I've been studying this shit my whole life. The northern whites have always been afraid of southern whites. Them rednecks ain't nothing to play with, homie. And they showed this country that
I
time
agree.
and time
I
again.
told you when we go against them, it's
Name
close.
another ethnic culture in this country that not overthrew or tried to overthrow the government. Name one. And guess what? This is my last point on this, and y'all, we can move on. Donald Trump is one. Why do you think they surround him like that? See, we got mixed up. I think I said this on your show before because he's a redneck, but he grew up in New York City. So we're looking at him like he's a New York City kid. No, he's one of the so they look at him like, man, that's the redneck that went to New York City and made it. This shit is deep, bro. And we got to stop playing. So if we would have tried to do that shit on January 6th, half the people in our culture know this. That shit would have been a bloodbath. Now, which way it would have went, your guess good as mine. But we know it would have been a bloodbath. Go ahead, bro.
Bro, this is what I like. First off, I agree with what Kenny just said, bro. Us marching not gonna help nothing, which it ain't. Like I said, and this is the thing. You don't even have to win. I keep telling folks this. You don't have to win. Bullies, this is how bullies work, bro. Bullies bully people that let them push them around. The moment you form an resistance, just enough resistance that they be like, okay, they ain't no pushovers, they gonna stop that shit. We have never came to the point where we showed them, look, every time you try this shit, this is what you're gonna get. Even if they win, they're just gonna stop because they don't want that many casualties happening. They're gonna have to do something to put in place, like, yeah, we can't keep doing this shit. But since we just keep coming over there, marching, yelling and screaming, tearing up our own neighborhoods, they keep doing that shit because they're going to get away with it every damn time. Like he said, bro, we're going to be in the streets for a week at the most, and we're going to be back doing our regular everyday lives.
All right, so Jamie, the example you gave in Memphis, which is a powerful example, y'all presence alone was powerful enough. So now imagine, let's use our imaginations now. Imagine after that day, y'all, what y'all did on the bridge, it was nothing, y'all did nothing violent. Y'all just had the force of unity. Imagine if after that day, you know what, we gonna start showing up at the city council meetings now. Not for no smoke, not for no smoke. We're here just, if our presence did that on the bridge with the law enforcement, imagine what it could do inside the city hall when we're saying, hey, here's what we need in our community. That's how you do it, bro. And if all else fail and we got to bring the smoke, and so be it. But we don't need to influence our people to crash out. That's all I'm saying.
Anyways, like I was saying, I'm going to quote something from Malcolm X, and I'm going to leave it alone. Malcolm X famously said, we are the only group of Negroes that think we're going to get our shit through peace when every other group has gotten their shit through war. We the only motherfuckers that believe that shit.
Lead the charge, bro. My life ain't been that bad. So, I mean, anybody who want to take that route, good luck, bro. I mean, everybody, we are also the most advanced group of black people in the world. Now, I'm not saying suck on that pacifier and settle for that. We still want to strive to be great, but we don't need to crash out either, bro.
I think you got to be smart. Look, this is. Let me make sure I'm clear with what I am saying. I'm not saying, because I think certain people are just flat out stupid when they do certain stuff. Like, for instance, if the police pull you over, let's say you were speeding or whatever, you could have not been speeding. Doesn't really matter. Let's say the police pull you over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And certain niggas would be like, man, what the hell you want, man? Fuck the police, man. I ain't gotta do shit. That stuff just stupid. Because now you're provoking the police, potentially creating a situation that could have been avoided. I'm not saying just be having mad hatred towards them and just, be with the shit all the time. But what I am saying is, if you know for sure, like for instance, my family and stuff like that, it's black people out here, bro, that can watch the police choke out their son in front of them and won't have a cry and march. No, bro, the crying and marching is over after that. That's what I am saying.
I hear you. No, and I'm with you on that. So let's not cry and march. Let's go to the city hall to demand justice, demand change. That's where the changes happen on the local level, all the way up to the federal. With Jamie, we're boys to men. When it comes to black boys to men, bro, we only 6% of the U.S. population. Our women are 7%. But we're damn near an endangered species, homie. Black boys, I can't say black men, bro. I gotta say black boys to men. So that means all black males in this country, when you add all of us up, we're only 6%. And you wanna go come on, fam.
Bro, I'm telling you what. Remember our topic, we had this before, but since you're bringing it back up, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back up. White people aren't as deep as y'all think they are, bro. They're not. What they do is fool you into believing it's more of them than it is. This is what they do. They allow immigrant whites to come over. Okay, we got American white, cool. Let's see, I'm just gonna throw numbers. Obviously, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but you got American whites. Okay, let's say, all right, they make up 20%. Cool. Let's let some Russians come over. They considered white. Let's let some Ukrainians come over. That's still white. Let the Jewish community, that's white. The Armenian community, that's white. And that's how they make up they big mass number. But if you separate them the way they do for us, because when they say blacks, bro, they're only talking what I'm saying, if you add up African black, Caribbean black, all of us black and stuff like that, our numbers is bigger than that too. They deliberately tell us that shit to make us think you don't have a chance if you was to try to go against them. They deliberately do that. And like I said, I'm not a person that's advocating for let's start a war against them. But
that's the only option you giving us.
That's not the option I'm giving you.
That's what it sounds like, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm saying is I'm not with the marching stuff because it has not worked since the beginning. We've been doing this shit for 50 years.
So if you're not asking us to crash out, what's the alternative?
I'm saying is if you're going to go out there and do something, make it shit. No, actually do something,
bro. I'm done with the marching too. So my second alternative was, bro, we just got to go to the city hall, and that same respect you and them brothers in Memphis got on that bridge, you would get that same respect.
And I'm gonna tell you the reason why we got the respect we got on that Memphis bridge, because Memphis is the city that's known that will come with this smoke. I don't seen some of my homies jump at the police before. The police know these niggas are crazy enough to actually shoot at them.
All right, so what would have you proving my point? So let's say y'all did decide to get violent that day. What would have happened?
Shit, if it would have happened that day, them niggas would have lost. Because I'm telling you, it was way more of us to deal.
All right, but it still would have been a bloodbath, right?
It's not like y'all going home after that. Y'all going to jail for life.
How?
It's crash. Thanks.
How they gonna arrest?
Are you insane?
How are they gonna arrest roughly 1,500 people? And it's like maybe 70 of them.
No.
They wouldn't arrest all
was able to identify all the people.
No.
The same way they was able to identify.
They wouldn't arrest that group. And I think they knew there was no way they was gonna arrest them people. It was way too many.
Jamie, your solution is too. That's dangerous.
That's hella dangerous.
That's dangerous. I rather go Taji route. Show up at the city halls, because I be looking at Memphis City Hall Council Hall meetings, and it be 5 people there. It's available on YouTube if anyone wants to look. Them companies come in there and they ask for whatever they want, and Memphis City Council just give it to them, and that room be empty as
Look at
hell.
that. Look at that. There you go. Come on, Fakila. That's
That
it
room
right
be
there.
empty as hell. Memphis like gas and water. Every year they go in there and they ask for a 2.5 increase on the expenses on the payment for Memphis like gas and water, and the city say, okay,
There it is
while the
right there. So,
resident.
so let's make sure Jamie get this part. So, Jamie, imagine what y'all did on that bridge that day. Y'all show up at the city hall. So if y'all got that kind of
Mm-hmm.
respect from law enforcement, like Fakila just said, when y'all show up to see, don't just show up with a demand. Frederick Douglass told us what? Power concedes nothing without a
Without
demand.
a
So
demand.
here's why we're here. City of Memphis, city of LA, city of Chicago, you name them. This is what we need. We pay tax dollars into the system every day, sales tax, property tax, the list goes on. Here's what we need. And guess what they gonna do to get y'all niggas up out of there? Hey man, give them niggas what they
Mm-hmm.
want, so they ain't got to keep showing up to our damn city hall meetings every
Mm-hmm. And
other,
at that point, maybe y'all then we take it the next measure, like we gonna show up at your damn house because we got some crash outs that's waiting to
we
crash
got
out.
there you go, Fakila. She could that's thinking.
But that's
We
what
got
I'm
some
saying
there you
though.
hey,
They did do
Fakila,
that
that's
that
what you
day.
do with the crash outs. That's what we
The
do with the
next
Yeah, that's
crash
day,
what you
outs.
do
the
with the
same
crash
day,
out.
July, hold on, that same day that I'm talking about, July 12th, if not 12th, for sure the 13th, motherfuckers did show up to the council meeting. They did.
Okay. Did they show up with a demand? What did y'all want? A lot of us nationwide, we don't even know what the hell we want. I salute to Kevin Hart. I don't like to do name drops a lot, but I never forget that morning he was on Breakfast Club and he asked the whole black community, it's still up there somewhere, what do we want? He was like, what do we? He was just confused. Like, yo, black people, what the fuck? Do we even know what the hell we want as a community of people? So when you show up, Jam, you got to know what you want. Hey, we need this done to the streets. Hey, we need economic development. Hey, whatever the need is.
Bro, I agree again what Kenny said, bro. Y'all acting like it's just gonna be a white power structure is not gonna allow us to be like, oh, hey, we want this and we demand this and stuff like that. They're gonna say, okay, like Joe Biden did to Ice Cube, and tell you they with it and wait on you to forget and not give that shit to you. The same
But
shit they've been
can
doing
I
with
use this as an example?
huh?
Let me answer your question with an example.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis City Council members, majority of them are black, right? And they have some white ones sprinkled in there here and there. But when the school board was ready to get rid of that director, they was able to hire her, and then they were able to fire her.
Well, first off,
Right?
I'm not just speaking on Memphis. We're not obviously we know Memphis is a predominantly black city. We're not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about Black America as a whole.
Some cities are already doing it, but I want to hear Fakila. Fakila speak with a lot of logic. So I want to hear her finish her statement. But people are already doing it across the country, Jamie. Black people are doing exactly what she's saying. They're going to the city halls and they're telling their city. The city is the closest connection we have to public power. Go ahead.
Yep. To make changes. So the
Yeah.
city council was able to hire and fire that lady. So
Bro,
you're saying to the
all
city
the
council,
greats
you
said
say,
that shit. That's the crazy part. That's crazy.
this is the community that we want you to develop, and we want you to build public resources in this community, and then maybe you come back and you ask for another community to be developed. We want home ownership grants. We want what we want is the plan to provide us with economic power in this country. If we don't get
Simple.
any
Yes.
any economic power, then we're going to continue to work for other people, making the bare minimum while they build while they build a sort of empire.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to the community, you go to these places and you ask them, this is an abandoned building in our neighborhood that we want you
Mm-hmm.
to invest money
It's
into.
that simple. Come on, Fakila.
This
It's
is how
that
you do
simple.
it.
Yeah,
And then you're going to come back every time you have a meeting until you pass a budget to
that's right.
build this.
That's right. And y'all gonna be there and I love the point she made. That's what made me chuckle a little bit earlier. She's like, we gonna send the crash house to the people's house.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
our
you use
secret
them.
weapon.
Right.
That's our secret weapon.
Right. The
We're gonna
silver
we're
line.
gonna
Yeah.
that's what other races
But
do.
this is what I'm saying. They have already
That's a
done
great
that, bro.
strategy.
Y'all act like
Yeah.
nobody ever came up with that shit. They have definitely
Who?
done that shit.
Where's the
Nigga,
receipt?
they have
Who?
done that shit.
And I bet you they got something
So
done.
it's
We
time,
never
now
done
it's
like
time for
that.
the
I
crash
bet you.
out.
I
What are we
bet you they
talking
got
about?
something done. I bet you they got something done.
I
if
can
they
guarantee
did that
you, I
strategy.
can research it right now without knowing off the top of my head that there is
I would
definitely
love
been
to see that receipt.
Okay.
Because I'm willing to tell you that anybody that did that, they got some results, bro. If they did what
No,
Fakila
I'm
said,
not talking about just any. I'm talking about us.
okay, us. So that, and now I'm if we take this to Vegas, I'm betting that you're gonna be hard pressed finding an example of us doing a strategy we both just said. Well, we saying, hey, we're sending the civilized, dignified
Be
people to
hard
City
to
Hall.
word it though.
It's two pronged. We sending the civilized, dignified people to City Hall. We're sending the crash outs to protest outside their house. That has never been done in Black America, bro. If you could find a receipt on that, I would love to read it from beginning to end.
You know what? If you didn't know, that's how that little country in the Middle East that nobody can talk about. That's what they do.
No, that's not the same. I know we're not
send the
comparing.
crash outs to the
I know
house.
we're not comparing them.
Oh, yeah, since they don't give a fuck to me, yeah, get them the address and here you go. This is where y'all go. Go crash out over
Yeah, and
there.
we gonna put money on your book, like they did Dylan Wolf. We gonna pool our $20 together. We gonna buy your mama a house, your grandma a house, whoever you want. We gonna put a life insurance policy. We gonna fund your whole life if you gonna handle that, because we want this in our
Cook his
community.
ass support. I told you when it's stuff like that, you got my permission. Cook his ass.
I'm just saying.
But I caught that part. What she said was like just like they did with Dylan Roof. That was a community thing. So
They sound, we support you.
Exactly. When he went and crashed, and he didn't even crash out because they didn't kill him. That's how you know they support him. So he went with the mentality to crash out, though they might catch me as I'm running out of Mother Emmanuel. And that just happened.
But my family's set. I'm set. This the least I could do. I'm a low life. I got nothing to live for.
Hold on, who y'all talking about right now?
God for my family.
Jamie, we're talking about what I had a conversation with you about on the private conversation. She's talking about the wind. That's what you call the wind-ups.
I know that, but who particularly?
She brought up Dylan Roof as a wind-up. He's what you call a wind-up. So a wind-up is a person with, like she just said, they're low lives. They ain't got shit to live for. And the person comes get in their ear and say, look, don't you want to go down to infamy, right? Here's what you go do. Go take out Charlie Kirk. Go take out, go take out Trump. Go try to take whoever. Go try to take these people out, and at least, because you're ready to commit suicide anyway, aren't you?
Anyway.
Yeah, come on. Fakila on point, bro, Jamie. You gotta wake up, bro.
Let me buy your mama a house. Let me give you
y'all pay attention. The whole chat is basically agreeing with me. Y'all together with that. Talking about I gotta wake up.
You do, because you're trying to get the whole community to crash out. We got crash outs to do that shit.
I didn't say the whole, bro. What I'm saying is, if you gonna do that shit, do it for real. Stop faking. That's what I am saying. That's my message. Stop faking.
So to Fakila's point, when we was out there in the streets during the George Floyd era, where was the crash outs then? Waiting to go crash some glass to steal some stuff out the store.
Stick up.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a purpose. That's what I'm saying.
All right, then. So what good are they to our
doing that?
homie?
Okay, so what changed? After they did that, what changed? Answer that for me.
Jamie, we're giving them purpose. Look, bro, y'all already. I'm telling you this. You said what changed about what?
Yes, after they got done with the George Floyd situation, what changed? What did we get?
A lot changed, but guess what happened? So let's start with the organization you spoke down on earlier, BLM, among others. Man, corporate sponsorships went up. We missed